Hey Lions, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Lexi The Leo, and on this channel we do pick a cards, we talk about astrology and all things spirituality. So if you're interested in that, hit that subscribe button. Now today, if you haven't already guessed from the title, we are talking about how to change your literal reality and shift timelines, and we're going to be looking into what that means for us. We're going to be looking at the energy behind that and how it works, and I'm going to show you guys how to do that, to create the life that it is that you want. Put yourself on a timeline to come into these desired outcomes that you want, whether it's love, whether it's a healthy body, whether it's money, whether it's a house. I'm going to show you guys how to do that and what's behind that. So the first thing that I want to talk about is, what is shifting timelines, Lexi? What does that even mean, shifting timelines? What is a timeline? So let's talk about that, because I feel like we need to understand that before we get into how to do it. So obviously, as you guys know, we are souls, and we do not reside really naturally here on earth. We are from other star systems, we are from other realms, whatever you like to call it. We are from higher realms, and we are just souls that come here to the 3D in these little meat sack physical bodies to experience life as human beings, to grow and to learn and just experience the beauty that Mother Gaia has to offer. But when we do come down, like I said, this is a learning curve for souls. So what we do when we decide to come to earth is we create a life chart. Now that's not to be confused with the birth chart in astrology. This is a literal kind of like life map, where our soul has certain aspects of life that they want to learn, certain aspects that they want to experience in the 3D. So they will, obviously they don't write it with a pen and paper, it's not like the physical world, but they decide and they create this life chart of certain experiences that they want to go through in this particular lifetime and experience. But even though there are fated events that usually will happen, fated soulmates that can happen, fated karmic relationships that can happen, even fated like catastrophic events that can happen, that have been pinpointed for us to go through, for us to learn and gain that wisdom from. When we come to earth as souls, we are given something that is called free will. And what free will is, we are not sitting in autopilot and the universe is kind of like, you know, in the driver's seat driving us around. No, we have the steering wheel in this lifetime, and we can choose if we want to reach our full potential or if we do not. If we want to become the best versions of ourselves or if we want to stay stagnant, we can choose to do that. Every single day, from the minute that we wake up in the morning, we are choosing the vibration that we are on. What is a vibration? We are souls. Souls is energy. Energy is a vibration. It's just another word. And every thought that we give off, every feeling that we give off, every emotion that we give off, every word that we speak is a vibration. Every color that we wear, everything that we surround ourselves with is a vibration, and it sets the tone of the current timeline that we are currently in. But obviously, when we come to life, we are not just souls in these little physical bodies. We not only go through the amnesia, where we forget who we are. The whole purpose of enlightenment is just remembering who we are, but we also are given an ego, and the ego is very much a psych kind of like construct of everything that we learn growing up. We learn right and wrong from our surroundings and our parents. We learn what colors are. We learn pretty much the characteristics of our parents and what they learn from their parents, and etc, or just what we're around. We learn those characteristics as we get older, and our ego is like, hey, I'm Lexi and I'm 23 and I've got dark hair and I've got brown eyes and I like Harry Potter. You know what I mean? That's the ego. The ego's creating a sense of self. But the thing about the ego is, the ego likes to put everything in characterized boxes, you know, like straight, gay, bisexual. It has to have a label. Everything that we do, religions, everything that we believe in, everything has to have a label. And yes, okay, labels do help in some way to identify, of course they do. But there is a duality to the ego of good and bad, because the ego can hold us back out of fear, and the ego can create mental restrictions of what it is that we can truly achieve. For example, I grew up in a family that was very much by the book. I'm not very by the book. You can kind of see by my YouTube, you know what I mean? I decided to make a career out of connecting with spirit, bridging the gap, waking people up, healing, astrology, you know what I mean? And everybody around me would project their fears onto me. You know, you can't do this will never work, you have to stay in this normal job, you need stability, etc., etc. That's all of their egos and their fears being projected onto me. You know what I mean? So our ego has all of that taken in, and it can mentally restrict us. And we're always mentally restricting ourselves. We may wake up and fall out of bed, be annoyed for the rest of the day. That's creating a timeline, and that's creating a day in this lower vibration where we stay in this angry vibration, and more things happen to us that are hurting us and upsetting us and making us angry because we've chosen to stay in that vibration. You know what I mean? When you come out of a relationship or something, you may be a little bit scorned. You may decide that love isn't for you and that you'll never find love. You're choosing to stay in that vibration and creating a timeline where love isn't going to be hard and love isn't going to come in for you. Because our feelings and our words and our thoughts are energy, and energy is a vibration. And every time that we shift our feelings to feel more inspired or happy or confident, we are elevating timelines and putting us on a timeline that is more optimistic, that is more in alignment with our soul, because the soul is limitless. It's the ego that limits. The soul is limitless. And I've said this on this channel before, the soul comes from higher realms. The soul thinks and becomes. You know what I mean? The soul thinks and becomes, but it's the ego that has all these restrictions. I can't leave this job because I need to do this, and this. I can't leave this person because I need to do this, and this. I'm never going to fall in love because of this, and this. The ego will create these restrictions. In another example, if you choose not to heal inner wounds, if you choose to, let's just say, not do shadow work, or not even that, but just choose not to address certain aspects of yourself that are causing pain, maybe to yourself or maybe to other people, you are choosing to not heal and not remove yourself from the past, and you are going to stay in that cycle. You have that free will to shift that. You have that free will to work on that. For example, I am somebody that I'm an empath, and I used to be in a very toxic, abusive cycle with men, where I kind of was drawn into people that were very abusive or had substance abuses, and this came from my childhood, and it was being mirrored and mirrored and mirrored and mirrored. And it kept happening and it kept happening, and I kept going for the same people until one day I had enough of my own ish, and I looked within and I was like, why is this happening? And I decided that it was because I had a lack of self-love. And I remember the time that I did it, I decided to love myself. I did a whole video on it on my channel if you want to go watch it. It's in my spirituality playlist. I decided to love myself, and the minute that I did that, not only did I unintentionally start doing shadow work, started doing all of that inner work. By deciding to love myself, I started to lose weight. I started to I was somebody that had to edit every photo, put all this makeup on, very insecure with myself. I then, I used to have like this long weave, and I still wear the weave here and there, but I had to cake my face in makeup, and I was very insecure, and I kind of believed that everyone that I would end up with would be like my ex. And I shifted that, because I shifted a timeline. I decided that wasn't for me anymore, that I deserved true love, that I needed to give love to myself, and I deserved to feel beautiful and abundant. And I made sure, not just with intentions, but I made sure that there were physical intentions behind it. I made sure that I worked out. I made sure that I gave to myself and I loved myself. And I was somebody that, like, I would take a photo, I would edit it, I would never smile. No way would I smile. I would be pouting, I'd have, it edited, I'd have like a filter over it, and I'd have it up, and, that all shifted. This literal year, was the first time I ever smiled for a photo, and now I completely love myself so much. What did I do there? I hated myself. I was drawing in all these messed up people. Then I decided to look inward. I did my shadow work. I love myself, and I'm no longer insecure about how I look or how I come across, and I truly love myself, and I'm open to receiving love because I know that I deserve it. What have I just done? I've shifted a timeline. Why? Because I had free will, and I had the free will to stay stuck in that stagnant energy, and I didn't, because I believed that there was a timeline. And I said it out loud. I said, I am now on a timeline where I no longer have to learn all of this wisdom through pain and hurt. I choose to learn my wisdom through spirit. I choose to learn my wisdom through love. I choose to learn it that way now. You know what I mean? And since then, guys, that's how I've been learning my wisdom. That's where I've been getting all my downloads from spirit. I no longer have to go through these because I've decided that that's not what I have to go through anymore. You know what I mean? And I shifted that timeline. I literally said, I am now on a timeline where love comes to me easily. I love myself and I'm confident. I'm the best version of myself. I shifted my vibration. You know what I mean? To create what I have now. But how did I do that? You know, how did I shift that timeline? Did I script? Did I, you know, look towards the future? There was scripting involved. Writing down everything that I wanted, but I wrote it down as if I already had it. And even though I hadn't lost the weight that I wanted to lose, I still wore my clothes like I already lost it. I didn't have eyebrows, right? I didn't have eyebrows. I cut them off. I didn't cut them off. I waxed them off. And I would draw them on every day. And I wanted to be natural and feel beautiful in my like natural skin. And I walked around, you guys, with no eyebrows, like a crazy person, for 6 to 9 months, no eyebrows at all. And after 4 years of my eyebrows not going back, when people would say, you haven't got eyebrows, I would say, yes, I do. Yes, I do. You know, and in the morning, I'd comb something that wasn't there and be like, I love my eyebrows. My eyebrows are so bushy. I wasn't thinking, I want eyebrows. I had eyebrows. I didn't. But I was like, I have eyebrows. Guess what grew back? Look at these bushy. And they even grew back the shape that I wanted them. My natural eyebrows were not this shape. But I believed that I had them and they grew back. Because I became it. I went onto a timeline. I literally said, I'm on a timeline where my eyebrows are thick and bushy. And look at them now. You know what I mean? I'm on that timeline. I walked around feeling insecure about my weight. But I switched it in my brain and I was no longer insecure about my weight because I was a healthy size. And all of a sudden I started to lose weight. I think I lost like half a stone in like 2 months. It's crazy because I just believed that I was, you know, that shifted the timeline. I was no longer in a timeline where I felt bad for myself. I was no longer in a timeline where I cried about the past. I was no longer in a timeline where I was suffering. I believed that I was in a prosperous timeline. That's exactly what happened. The minute that everything in regards to Corona hit, Spirit were like, okay, you know, you wanted this abundance, it's time to leave your job. You know what I mean? And I believed that I was on a timeline where I'll be able to bring that money in and support myself. And I took that leap because I believed that I was on that timeline, and that's exactly what happened. I created that timeline. You know, I took care of myself. I lotioned my body every day, paint my nails every day, look in the mirror, tell myself how beautiful I was. Which, if you knew me back then, I was so insecure, but I believed that I was on a new timeline and that everything that I wanted was going to come in. And guys, everything's still coming in. The shifts that have taken place because I switched that timeline, not by wishing and desiring, but by becoming, you know? Sorry guys, my leg went dead. I could have walked around like, oh, I feel insecure in what I'm wearing. And of course I didn't, I didn't feel the best, but I would switch that in my brain. I'm beautiful and I'm healthy and I'm fine. You know what I mean? I believed that. To the point that I was walking around with no makeup on and no eyebrows. I believed that I had them because I became it. So what I want you guys to know is that you are the alchemists of your own life. You have that wand. Yes, okay, there are certain things that are fated to happen, but we as souls are limitless. Like I said, the ego limits us. Our souls are limitless. And what we want is out there. We just have to create the timeline. You know what I mean? Because when people come to me for readings or people, watch pick a cards, the energy that's channeled is the current timeline that you are on. So say now you get something in a pick a card that you don't like. That isn't to fear that it's fated to happen, because you have the wand, you have the steering wheel to your own life. And astrology and tarot and all these tools, they're the most amazing tools that can give us foresight, but they're not to rule us. They're just tools. And what they are is to show you, hey, you're on this timeline Hey, you're on this timeline right now and this is going to happen. But if you don't want that to happen, you have the steering wheel. Go down a different path. Just go down a different path. You have that ability to do that. I hear people say, I'm never going to find love. I'm never going to find love. I'm going to be single for the rest of my life. Now, I'm going to be doing a video on this soon, but words are spells. You believe it and you're saying it out loud. Well, that's what the timeline that you're choosing. Me, I'm prosperous, I'm beautiful, I'm worthy of love. Love comes to me effortlessly, and I no longer have to learn any of my wisdom through negative experiences. I learn it through love because I decided that, and that's the timeline that I'm on. So take a look at what timeline you want to be on and show up as it. Don't desire it, show up as it. When you're scripting, script like you already have it. This time last year, do you want to know what I was scripting? I said, thank you, universe, for 1,000 subscribers. I can't believe I didn't even have a YouTube at the time. Thank you, universe, for 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for giving me the means to leave my job and make a full-time career out of my gifts. Thank you so much for helping me heal and wake up as many people as I can. Thank you for drawing these people to me. Thank you for the abundance. Thank you for my spiritual gifts. That's what I scripted this time last year. And here I am. Just reached 2,000 subscribers now. They're going up. You know what I mean? I manifested everything. My job fell away. Another one just placed underneath me where I was able to support myself with my spiritual gifts. Why? Because I created that timeline. And I didn't ask. I already thanked because it was already mine. You know? And clearly it was, because look at me now, filming a video for my YouTube for all of you guys to watch. You know what I mean? So whatever it is that you want to manifest, remember that you're limitless. And of course, things don't happen straight away. Sometimes things can happen straight away. I remember one time, this was a while ago, I was 17 at the time, or maybe I was 16, and I was learning about manifesting, and I wrote in, you know, this, like, as in I was thanking the universe already, and I used to just manifest little things in to try it out. And I said, thank you, universe, for what did I ask for? I think it was like £300 or £200. I said, thank you so much for this money, because I wanted like new makeup or something like that, and I was training to be a beauty therapist at the time, and I didn't have a lot of money, and I said, thank you so much for £200. At that time, that was a lot of money to me, and I was like, thank you so much for £200, like, thank you so much. And literally within a week, I got a letter in the post saying that a bond had been created when I was a baby for when I turned 17, which is kind of like a weird age. It was either 16 or 17. A bond had been created, and that there was money coming to me. It had been there all those years for me to have it when I was older for £400, and I was able to buy everything that I wanted to. And I never said, oh, I want this. I said, universe, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, you know. And that's how I used to begin doing it. I remember, what was the next thing I asked for? I said, universe, thank you so much for my boyfriend. He has muscles and tattoos and a beard. I asked that when I was like 16, 17, and then later on that year I ended up with a boyfriend that had muscles, tattoos, and a beard, but it was a karmic relationship. So make sure that you're careful what you wish for, because that was a karmic relationship. But all you've got to do is thank the universe, because it's already yours. You just got to believe that it's yours and become it. You want to feel beautiful? Tell yourself you're beautiful. Be beautiful. You are anyway. Look at you. You know what I mean? You already are. You want love? Become love. Attract love. I'm still learning to do that myself. I'm not a romantic person. I said that in one of my pick cards. Currently trying to watch romantic films and stuff to try and be that, you know what I mean, and accept that. Little bit of rewiring going on there, but other than that, everything that I've said that I was, it's come in, you know what I mean, and it's continuing to come in. And of course, sometimes there can be delays, or it can come in a lot slower, especially if you're manifesting in something big, because you need to understand, when we're in the higher realms, like I said, our souls, when they're in the higher realms, like, we think and we become straight away, you know what I mean? It comes instantly. Whereas on earth, like I said in my other videos, we're in 3D. We're in the third dimension, and even though everything around us looks concrete, this crystal looks concrete, this candle looks concrete, I look concrete, nothing actually is concrete. It's just energy compressed into the 3D. So with that being said, our manifestations can come in a lot slower, because obviously time is a kind of construct here on earth. There's yesterday and last week and next week or whatever, but all in all, time isn't real. There's no such thing as the past. There's no such thing as the future. All there is now. So knowing that all there is now, to have something, you have to become it. You know what I mean? There's no such thing as yesterday, last week, that's gone. And there's no such thing as tomorrow. It's right this second. So when you're manifesting, you don't want to manifest in like, oh, and have this vision of next week. You manifest in as I am it, because all there is now. And slowly but surely, the universe is going to shift to create that with you in the physical. It just comes a little bit slower because we are in a very kind of like dense realm on earth. So things come in a lot slower, but it does happen. And you'd be surprised by removing your ego's little words of fear or constructs that's a bit too out there. You want to go to the moon? That's a bit too out there. You know what I mean? What if I want to go to the moon? I can manifest that. You know what I mean? You can manifest whatever it is that you need to. People say as well, I saw somebody comment, I think it was on one of my videos, that sometimes things just aren't for you. That's completely true on a timeline that you're on. Something might not be for you. You know what I mean? You may be choosing in this lifetime to go through something that contradicts what it is that you truly want. But what I want to say is, if you have a true soul feeling that you are to go down a particular pathway, if you're to heal people or whatever, the universe wouldn't put that feeling of inspiration within you for you not to achieve it, you know? And on top of that, yes, okay, some things may not be for us. I'm not here to live constricted. Our souls are here to live abundantly, you know? And you can choose that isn't true for you. That's completely fine. And stay on the timeline that you're on. Or you can choose to live an abundant life. I'm somebody that had to learn a lot of dark lessons through a lot of dark experiences. But I choose beyond this point to have and receive my experiences out of love. You know? And if something does happen that's not the best, I've already chose to experience it out of love. So if something else does happen that's not the best, I know to look at it through the lens of love and rise above that, because I'm on that vibration. It's all about the perception of what you're putting out and what you're taking in. So coming off this video, guys, I want you to imagine what it is that your soul truly wants. Do you want a family? Do you want love? Do you want to find yourself? Do you want your spiritual gifts to come in stronger? Do you want more subscribers? Do you want money? Be it. Act like you have it. You know what I mean? I remember when I wanted to pass like my driving test, I would sit on the bus, because I used to catch a bus because I didn't have a lot of money when I was going to work back then. And as the bus drove off to take me to work, I would imagine that I was in my car, driving my car in my mind. I wasn't on a bus. I wasn't on a bus in my mind. I was driving my car. You know what I mean? You got to think of it like that. Switch it like that. You're driving a car that you don't want. No, you're not. You're driving your Range Rover. You're driving your Ferrari. You know what I mean? You're not driving the car that you don't want. You're looking in the mirror. You don't like what you're seeing. Shift it. Shift your perception. Love yourself and shift that. Before I decided to love myself, because the whole point was to love, you know, the whole point of like self-love, I wanted to love myself naturally. And I was looking in the mirror and I was like, okay, I don't know how this is going to manifest, but I don't like my nose and I don't want it to be so pointy, and I want my chin to be reducted because my chin's really pokey, and I want my cheeks to, you know, I want like cheekbones. I don't like my cheeks and I don't like my forehead. And I said all these things, and I looked in the mirror and I was like, let me just like love my face and it will shift the way that I want it to. Did my chin go smaller? Did my cheeks change? No. But I love my chin, and I love my cheeks, and I love my forehead, and I love my nose. There's absolutely nothing about me that I want to change, because I loved myself, to see myself as love and beautiful. So you may even find that something that you did want to shift about yourself, especially on the physical body, you may find that you actually grow to love it when you choose to love yourself. Because there's not one part of me right now that I do not love. You know what I mean? It can work in that way too. Sometimes that manifestation comes in not in the way that you expected it to. You know? I wouldn't change anything about my face now. There's nothing wrong with me at all. You know? Because I chose to be on that timeline where I loved who I was and was comfortable in my body. And I walk around all the time now with no makeup on. And I got eyebrows too. So what I want you to do is write down everything that it is that you want. Put yourself on that timeline. Drive your Range Rover to work, you know, be love. be confident, walk down the road as Naomi Campbell, you know, the next Naomi Campbell, and watch it show up for you. Because what you are right now is determining what you will be in a week's time, 2 weeks' time, 3 weeks' time. And that's how you shift timelines, you know? You have the wheel. So that is all I have for you guys today. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, that it was insightful and that it made sense. I'm sending you guys lots of love, and I also want to say I think the last video that I did was my shadow work video, and obviously I was doing a lot of healing, and then I took a week off to really recenter, and I'm feeling amazing. I'm feeling really good, and I just thank you all for your beautiful comments, helping me. I feel really good and happy and healthy, and I have so many cool ideas for some more videos for you guys. So yeah, I'm sending you guys so much love. Happy manifesting, happy shifting your reality. I'm sending you lots of love, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. So thank you guys for watching.